and maximum returns to us. Okay, this is a very interesting problem that I feel all of us should be addressing ourselves to. Sustainability is important as a core value, right? In the sense that if you look at everything through a sustainable prism, you will get lots of interesting ideas. You will be able to anticipate markets now, before they happen. Right? You should be thinking not about doing something which is relevant right now. You should be thinking where this technology is kind of, this need is going to converge in about a few years' time here. So before that need actually arises, let me think of some ideas with which to meet those needs. That's the working of the mind of a winner, essentially. And it's the key to discovering relevant ideas, and there's good business in this restoring the planet and all that kind of business. So we need more Renaissance engineers, right, who are willing to step out of their own silos. This is very important. When you see a problem in life, it doesn't come with a label saying this is a civil engineering problem, this is a mechanical engineering problem, this is an electrical problem. A problem is a problem, right? And you need to meet it on its own terms, right? I was just joking with some students the other day. The course load is very high. All the faculty is trying to set assignments and they are overwhelmed, right? But I said that we are preparing you for the real world. Your competitors will not say that, hey, let us see amongst ourselves how much this poor guy can cope. They will throw as much rubbish on you as possible, and you have to live and survive, right? That's the way the world works. Okay, so we have to build these kind of engineers, Renaissance engineers, who got skills across disciplines, and we feel that this whole tinkering mentality that we are trying to encourage through our robots is going to naturally lead kids to get out of their space of comfort and learn about other things, image processing. If he's an electronics guy or software guy, will learn a little bit about hardware and mechanical engineering. And this new technology called 3D printers is going to dramatically change the way we manufacture things nowadays, right? This is just a little thought to you. Just go off and read on Wikipedia 3D printing and see what kind of ideas you have. It's going to transform the manufacturing landscape in future, right? In a way that you don't understand yet. Okay, so I'm going to end here. It's been quite long. And is there time for the questions?
Questions. And first, let's thank. And if there are any questions, you can ask. Yes, Patil.
Yes.
The mic.
We have been talking about embedded systems with non-living types of material.
Okay.
Can we have the embedded system which can really help the mentally retarded people, where we have a robotic or some machine which will interact with our human brain cells?
Interact with the brain cells?
Yeah. Training has to be given to the machine. And then it can help the mentally retarded person who cannot think. We can make that person to think. Some kind of things.
Getting a mentally retarded person to think through an embedded system, that's a challenge which is very steep. Right? A handicapped person, yes. But mentally retarded, I don't know, because we don't know enough about the human mind. About handicapped person is quite interesting. We are apparently quite skilled in developing extensions to our limbs. Right? The physical artifacts of our body. You heard about that guy who killed his model girlfriend, right? He had totally prosthetic limbs, and he could run Olympic races with the carbon fiber limbs that he had. Like that, people have found replacement for lots of things. I believe they even found replacement for the retina of the eyes by having a sensor there and directly stimulating the brain and stuff like that. But what you pose is a challenge that I would not, I'd hesitate. Pardon?
Biochips.
Biochips. Maybe, but I'm not that acquainted with that kind of area. I'm not that cross-disciplinary yet.
Yes, sir. Can we make some robotic system which can make a dressing for a leprosy patient?
Which can make a?
Dressing for a leprosy patient. Or who can perform a dressing for leprosy patients?
So what does performing a dressing require?
So basically leprosy is a quite renowned disease throughout the world, and people are quite afraid of
touching them.
Yeah, touching them.
Okay.
So there are almost more than 70% of the leprosy patients throughout the world. Out of them, Asian countries have 70% leprosy patients. So numbers is in very huge.
So basically, typically they have the extremities of the limbs which have got
maybe on
leprosy and so on, right?
Yeah, it's the bottom of the leg or maybe some or the basic, very serious wound which you can find on the face or maybe on the hand.
Okay. See, you can classify the kind of wounds maybe as low-hanging fruit, means the easy wounds and the more difficult wounds, right? So you can have the more difficult wounds done by nursing staff. And the easy wounds, there's no reason why you cannot make a small device which can clean the wound and put a dressing on it. Because what does it need? It needs something to just clean it in some way, flush off things, right? And then wind a bandage onto it, right? And it would make an excellent BE project. Right? By what we typically do is that we take a real world problem, we dumb it down a bit to make it manageable for us. And in solving the problem the first time in an easy instance of the problem, it helps us understand the problem. And once we've understood it, then we can refine this into a product. So there's no reason why you can't do it. If you want to do it, we'll help you.
You are mentioning about the patents developed by Israel and made a comparison and so on. I do not know how many of the patents are filed all over the world. It really leads to something tangible. So would that really be a good measure of progress? Or
That's a good question, and the jury is out on that. On one hand, you have guys like Apple who've sued Samsung for billions of dollars to protect their turf, right? Where patent seems to be helping them, right? On the other hand, if you don't care about patents, you can be like a China, where you violate the patent and before anybody has found out, you moved on to the next product. Right? So people say that patents don't work because if you have a country like that which behaves like this, then how do you control, And plus there is not enough of violation to justify your expensive court fees and all those kind of things, right? So if you're in America, patents help a lot because that's where the real markets are. But if you're in the rest of the world, the jury is out about this, about whether it really helps you. Right? So the thinking would be to be secretive about the idea and push it out into the marketplace at a cost where you recover your money and make a bit of profit, because people are going to copy it anyway once it gets out, as it happens in India. Right.
Well, as we are live on AView, there is a question on AView, live from Sri Bhagwan College of Pharmacy. The question is, can it be implemented for pharmaceutical field? If yes, how?
What?
What, that one doesn't know, but if there are any...
Pardon?
Embedded systems.
Okay, embedded systems for pharmacies, the only thing that I can think of is a chemist shop. They're having a big problem with chemists or pharmacists in dukans, because you don't want a situation where someone serves up the wrong medicine, right? So you could well have something like a robotic library assistant where you have lots of pigeonholes of medicines and you press a button or write that I want this medicine and it automatically takes it out and gives it to you. Right? That I can think of as a very simple, superficial maybe, but important all the same application which one can straight away build for shops, if you like. Okay, or you can use speech processing to just assess what the product is and then go and... But anyway, I don't expect anybody to be able to pronounce the names of the medicine properly, Okay.
Thank you very much for your wonderful talk, for out-of-box thinking and all.
Okay.
Sir, what I wanted to ask is that when we are talking about sustainability, the demand and the supply gap is increasing in the coming years and there is a relative phenomenon. So when we are pushing more and more ideas in the time of for pushing this supply side, can we do some kind of robot or something like that to reduce the demand, to say that human psychology, that to go more and more in some kind of demanding, energy demand type of situations. So what kind of thinking is going in that line?
Can you give me a more specific example?
No, what I wanted to tell is human psychology, just what I want to tell is that tomorrow when we have so many options available in the market, you have a tendency to purchase too many things and then grab everything and then going in for modification of those things in computerized world. So what can we do to, when you have done that, some kind of green technologies and in IIT and all.
So what you're saying is that saying that we want to change our behavior, where we want to buy so many things, will a robot help us not to buy so many things?
Not to buy. You put some.
That's usually called a parent. That robot, unfortunately, is called a parent. Right? But the fact is that this is one thing I have against this age of consumerism. Right? In the sense that you are seeing advertisements everywhere of brands and things like that, which are totally unnecessary, but you feel you have to buy it, and if you don't buy it, you'll be losing out in some ways. Right? That's a sociological problem which no robot can help.
We have the last question now.
Okay.
Sir, I'm Krishna from Physics Department. My question, first I want to say something. We have many problems and we are looking for the solution to solve the problems. Maybe we can take example of energy. We are running short with energy and we are looking for different substitute problems for that. So what I want to say, in spite of going for the solution to solve the problems, why not go for the roots of the problems? And when I go to the roots of the problem, I find population is the main root of all the problems. So if you also think that population is the problem, so can you tell me that is there any way to solve that problem? I mean, root of the problem, maybe with the help of your embedded system. Thank you very much.
Well, I don't know if population is really the problem, and whether if I tell you to have just one kid instead of two, you're going to listen to me, right? And recently there was this article about China. Its one-child policy is actually backfiring, in the sense that it leaves the family unit with very little redundancy, number one. It creates a generation of spoilt brats, number two, right? Just imagine one child consuming 10 times other kids and having two kids which consume less because they have to share and they've been told to sort of modulate their demands and all that. What is a better thing? And this guy is a spoiled brat. So you have a generation of brats actually there. Okay? And they don't have any redundancy in the system. And now the burden of looking after the parents falls on one child instead of two or three children basically. Right? So they are having a problem now in China as a result of those policies. So, you gain on one hand and you lose on the other hand. Right? And I don't think we are ready in this country, at least with the medical facilities, what they are, to force everybody to have one child. But what we can do is by rethinking the way we use our resources and build. So what's going to happen now? I'll give you an example. India is going to need a lot of urban centers in future. They're going to multiply over 100 to 1,000 times, right? Urban centers. Now these urban centers, so this is proposed in Atanu Day's book. Something like he says that every 100 villages should be near an urban center where they can get all the services that we normally demand for what's called quality of life. That means schools, medical attention, multiplexes, malls, this, that and the other. 100 villages, one urban center. So we have to invent this notion of urban center. What is stopping us from envisioning these urban centers to have a very low energy footprint? What is stopping us from being less consumerist in our attitude, because we know it's not the right way to go? What is stopping us from implementing policies which force us to reduce waste, for instance, right? Which force us to reduce the number of cars we buy and go and take public transport. So I don't think population is the problem. The problem is the resources that we have and the way we are using them. Like, it's very sad that you spend 1,800, 2,000, 5,000 crores of rupees to build, say, a big flyover and stuff like that, when that money really needs to be spent on opening a new train line, which can carry 1,000 times more people. Right? It just shows lopsided development more than anything else. India can cope with much larger population if it uses the resources that it has effectively. Like, for instance, almost 50% of farm produce, fresh farm produce, is lost because we don't have a cold chain. So you put a cold chain in place and you have twice the amount of food. Right? And by right deployment of agricultural policies and organic farming and greenhouses and urban farming and stuff like that, you can grow enough food. So all that's lacking is imagination. There's not enough imagination being deployed in the way we are addressing the kind of problems that we are faced with as a society. And I feel that we have hopes, looking at the youngsters that we work with nowadays, that you guys are going to change things, because you guys have something that we didn't have, called the internet. And that gives you the opportunity to become a vote bank, because politics only listens to vote banks. Now, the middle class Indian has never had a vote bank. It has never been seen as a vote bank. Now, through the internet, all you guys, educated people, can come together as a vote bank and influence policy. And slowly, over the next few generations of parliament, things will change. Or maybe very fast they will change, because I think there's something happening in the country at the moment with RTI and lots of other policy changes which are happening. Like, for instance, this new law which is being enacted, this new bill actually, of time-bound delivery of services. That was unthinkable of, the Babu was Lord. You could not ask him, jaldi se mera passport do, He'll tell you, parso aao, ek hafte ke baad aao, vagera, vagera. Right? But time-bound. So there are changes happening in this country, and it's up to you guys to use the resources that you have at your disposal, use your imagination to see what kind of country you want this to be, and do whatever needs to be done. And we are there to help you. Okay. Any others?
I think with this we end as well.
Thank you.
I request now Professor Kothari to deliver the vote of thanks.
Well, today's guest speaker, Dr. Kavi Arya, I think he has fired our imagination, and the last message that he has given is that imagination is the key thing. And if you take that message and generate ideas, which he has said that ideas are important, I think he has served his lecture here. I think he has also generated an idea in me, and I'd like to share it with you. And that idea is that India has the biggest problem, which is sanitation and hygiene. Can we use robots to solve that problem? If there are millions of urinals in India, if there is a sensor which will tell us that urinal is stinking, and if you are at the console, you will know which urinal is stinking, and if that gives an SMS to a cleaner that he should go to that urinal and clean it, I think that would solve the problem. But idea is 1%, 99% is perspiration, and of course he has told us that what 99% perspiration that you have to implement so that you go ahead with that idea. With this small idea, I'd like to thank the speaker that he has inspired us, and he has fired our imagination, and let's give him a big hand again. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Of course, that reminds me that I'm the son of poor father and my son is the son of rich father, and his way of thinking is different and my way of thinking is different. Again, I'd like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rajan Velukar, who is here in this audience, and he has inspired us to start this series of lectures. And we have witnessed 6 lectures, and all 6 lectures I have gained a lot, and I'm sure you must have all gained a lot. So let's thank the Vice Chancellor for initiating this program, and few more lectures that we have in this term. We welcome you all for all these lectures. Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor. We have our Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Naresh Chandra. He has been behind us. Honorable Vice Chancellor is the brain behind this, but Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor and Director BCUD, Dr. Hande are the hands to help us to implement this. So they have done all micro planning and they have guided us, and the team has been working in implementing this successfully. So I'd like to thank Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Naresh Chandra and Director BCUD, Dr. Hande, for giving us micro planning for organizing this series of lectures. Also, the whole administration is behind us. Dr. Sri Kumar Khaire, the registrar, he is not here today, but his team of GAD and electrical department have been helping us. I'd like to specifically, name the DR of GAD, Sri Gosavi, Saman Madam, Bise Madam, Ramesh Bimani, who is a hardworking person here, DS Kamble, Datta Maukar, Pramod Fonde, and Jaising Solanki. They have been arranged behind the screen worker for arranging this seminar and arranging this hall. We have from University Engineering section Yogesh and Sharad who have been helping us in this electrical, mic and other arrangements. And there are various faculty members and their team. The main being Dr. Professor Srivaramangai of IT department and her team. We would like to thank her for comparing this session, as well as they have been behind planning this lectures and designing the banners and putting the banners and putting designing the posters, etc. The team consists of Subodh Devlekar, Nikhil Pavnikar, Prakash Vishwakarma, Prakash Kadam, Santosh Shingade, Nitesh Tetaguri and Swadesh Chinkate. So I'd like to thank them for helping us in all this media and poster and banner coverage. Dr. Dongre and his team of Biophysics Department, Kaustubh Pelekar, Prathamesh Shingekar, Nitesh Kunti and Vaibhav Patil, who has been behind in helping in the stage and mic and the PowerPoint presentation. So I'd like to thank them. And of course, there are many other faculty members. Dr. Dongartive of Computer Science Department, she has been helping us in registration and the competition that we have instituted. We do not have a big response in this competition. The competition is for the students. They should send us by email what they've in one page, what they've learned from this, what do they remember, and what 5 learnings that they will take from this. So I hope from this lecture onwards the response would be huge. The next lecture is by we had invited Dr. Radhakrishna of ISRO, the chairman ISRO, but then he has deputed his colleague Dr. Desai from Ahmedabad Space Application Center, and he's going to talk on our space program in next lecture. So I invite you for that lecture. Then I thank all other faculty members, Dr. Sanjay Deshmukh, Dr. Gautam Gauli, Librarian Sri Ahire, Professor Jose George for Civics and Politics, Sri Mohan Kumar for this of Department of Lifelong Learning, PRO Sri Vinod Malale, and account section, and all the students, volunteers who are here from the physics department, Sri Abhijit Bogle and Nitin Baing, and all other students, volunteers and student participants. Thank you so much for helping us. And finally, thank all of you for coming here and then witnessing this inspirational lectures by all the guest speakers. So thank you very much. With this, I request you to stand for the national anthem, and we'll sing the national anthem. Jana Gana Mana Adhinayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkal Banga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchchal Jaladit Ranga Tava Shubh Name Jage Tava Shubh Ashish Mage Gahe Tava Jaya Gatha Jan Gana Mangal Dayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He Jaya He